It's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Sunday, December 5th. So we do have the lovely moon in Sag stepping down from that beautiful new moon solar eclipse that we had and shifting into Capricorn. So a couple of things. First of all, today is going to feel like the very first day of a brand new year. And if we were to compare this to actual New Year's Day, this would feel a little bit more intense. Why? Because we just closed out a very important 18-month cycle. We are stepping into the brand new foundation of our new reality, of our new dreams and intentions, and we're setting the tone for another 12-year cycle. So it's very fresh, very exciting, very optimistic, very confident with thinking about these big dreams, these big visions, these big goals. So we're definitely still feeling the energetic repercussions of the solar eclipse. If you haven't listened to this week's Ascension forecast, please go ahead and do so. If you haven't downloaded your moon guide, there's still time to do that. The energy is still very potent. We're still very much in this eclipse energy until about the 10th. And you should definitely check out your Astro Tarot forecast for the month, where we talk about how this particular moon event affects you and the month ahead. So moving into a Capricorn moon, we're coming down, okay? We're going to get back down to reality, back down to the nitty gritty, back down to the basics on what it is that we have to do from here to plan, to organize, to strategize our intentions on moving forward. We are now tapping into the Sagittarian energy of Sagittarius season that was a little bit muted because of coming into it with eclipse energy. Now we get the green light go ahead from the universe to start moving things around, start implementing some of the ideas that we have in our physical realms. And the moon in Capricorn gets us down to business. It kind of detaches us emotionally from the ups and downs that we were kind of experiencing. And it very much kind of consumes us with staying busy, getting our physical realms in order. That is where we find the most satisfying energy right now, is from being productive, actually seeing results for the energy in which we're putting forth. So we have 10 different aspects taking place here today, and 8 of them involve this moon. Right out of the gate, while the moon is still in the Sag energy, the moon goes ahead and sextiles Jupiter. And of course, Jupiter was the ruler over this new moon solar eclipse and Sag event. So this is kind of like a mingling. This is us trying to get our vibes up. This is us trying to stay positive. This is us breaking free from the depression, from the darkness that likely got triggered over the last couple of weeks, to align with a higher meaning, a higher purpose. Not only seeing how much we've changed, how much we've grown, and celebrating that, but looking ahead and seeing what we actually want to do. What do we want more of? We want more love. We want more peace. We want more harmony. We want more financial abundance. We all want more of something. And now is the time with this particular energy to be thinking big. The moon bumps into Uranus in not the nicest way, but this Uranian energy is really kind of clashing because our egoic realms, the physical avatars that we're in this physical realm, we aren't making as much sense compared to the emotion and the intuition, the dreams that we're getting. Like, our energy is very much anticipating a brand new change that we haven't even begun to see the pieces of yet in our physical realms. And so our egoic selves, our physical selves right now in the here and now, having a little bit of trouble trying to see this big long-term plan that we feel good about actually have the ability to manifest right now. Doesn't make sense. We're feeling a little bit chaos and crazy about the details. And of course, the Sag energy does not support details. It supports the bigger, greater, grander picture. So the moon bumps into the true node, and this is kind of where we're kind of glitching out. Why? Because what we want for ourselves in a visionary aspect, in a futuristic aspect, now we're not quite so sure. Why? Because we're coming down from this very high manic, delusional, emotional cycle, and we're coming back down to earth, where we will root and ground when the moon locks into Capricorn energy. So now we're kind of in this transitional phase where we're trying to be more realistic. And we're like, damn, maybe I dreamed too big of a dream. Maybe I want more than I actually feel that is possible in me accomplishing right now. The moon in Capricorn is going to kind of, like I said, calm down those emotions, disconnect, disassociate with the emotional part of it all, and really get down to the nitty-gritty of the details on what is possible. What do we have control over? What can we actually make happen? Mercury is going to bump into Uranus. This is a beautiful energy for a lot of reasons. First of all, Mercury is the low-level intellect of our mental plane. Uranian energy is the higher intellect of our mental plane. So we receive vision and aha moments and intuition and downloads of inspiration from the higher realms. We get this spark of genius, this just like, wow, this is a great idea, or wow, this shifts my perspective. This is a new thought. And then we have to sit with it. We bring it down into our lower intellect that Mercury rules over, and we try to sort things out. We try to add logic and practicality to it. We try to actually, weigh the pros and cons, and we're likely going to have a lot to say about it. Now, Mercury, yes, although ruler of the mental plane and does kind of help us process new information, also rules over communication and that throat chakra. We talked about the throat chakra popping off in this week's ascension forecast. And it's because we've had new revelations, we've had new triggers, we've had new inspirations and aha moments, and now we have something that we got to speak on. We have to express ourselves. We have to get it out. And this can happen in a very sudden fashion because, of course, Uranian energy is involved. That's shock, that's awe, that's wild card energy. And you know what? I support this because we have a lot of releasing to do. We got to get a couple of things off of our chest now that we've connected the dots and made sense of a couple of things and gained a little bit of clarity. It's time to actually use our throat chakras for advocating for ourselves, for speaking our own truth, and not being afraid to be heard at this particular point in time. The moon is going to go ahead now in Capricorn energy and harmonize with the true node. This is kind of where we fell off the bike earlier in the day, so to speak, because we couldn't really see realistically how we were going to bring some of these dreams and ideas to life. Well, we've had a little bit of time to sit with it. We've had a little bit of time to work through the details. And now this moon in Capricorn is actually feeling good about a logical plan that we can actually take into our own hands now, be productive with, be in control of, and actually start getting physical results. Now the sun goes ahead and bumps into Jupiter. And let me tell you, little reminder, whenever the sun bumps into another planet, this is setting the tone. This is setting the topic and theme for this particular cycle until they meet again. So the sun bumping into Jupiter, who rules over Sagittarius season, that the sun is very much all up in right now. Again, shunning a bright light on what needs our attention, giving us life force energy to make things happen. In this Sag energy, we are visionaries. We have a new truth that we have to explore. We have a new adventure and a quest that we need to go on. We're breaking free from the confines of the old egoic death that just took place. And now we're setting our sights on the possibilities of the future. And this is going to be a very opportune time to see a lot of positive opportunities either shift in our mental plane or actually manifest in our physical realm. I have been saying that after the eclipse, we were going to get the green light go ahead, and it was going to be at a very accelerated rate, especially seeing things actually manifest in our physical realms. This is a huge light with Jupiter, who is about growth and expansion, about abundance and blessings and possibilities and opportunities, big feels, big thoughts. This is going to give us a burst of energy to actually pursue the new ideas that we are bringing to life. This is going to give us that burst of optimism and confidence to renew our faith, our will, our determination to actually see this dream and vision manifest. The moon goes ahead and bumps into Neptune, and this is going to give us a really good energy to work with because the moon in Capricorn, very grounded, very realistic. Neptune energy, kind of dreamy, kind of creative, definitely intuitive, and highly imaginative. So we're going ahead and we're letting our higher selves download a vision, work through these new dreams, these new creative ideas, all these little moments of inspiration that have just been blocked out for the past 5 months because Neptune had been retrograde. Now Neptune is direct. We're looking to get things done. And now we're being able to bring this magical part of us alive again, this dreamy and creative part alive. And the moon in Capricorn is going to say, okay, you know what? That's a little bit outlandish, but I think I can work with it. I think I can bring it into fruition. I think I can bring life to this. I am ready to bring life to this. Now, the moon is going to go ahead and square Chiron. And this likely is going to, again, may I remind you, anytime we take a couple of steps forward, those darker force energies are going to kick in to try and pull us back. Pull us back to the fear, pull us back to the darkness, pull us back to that negative ass narrative that keeps us in a state of paralysis, never growing, never evolving, just stuck in a rut. So we just had some growth. We just bumped up in energy. We just had some realizations. We just kind of figured out how it is that we're going to bring some of these elements to life. We're feeling good about it. So naturally, we got to be knocked down a couple of pegs. So the moon goes ahead and squares Chiron. This really brings up a lot of fear, a lot of the doubts, a lot of the insecurities, but mostly we're at the point at this particular juncture in the day where we're just like, wow, like where am I going to get the energy to even fight these negative feels off? We get so down when we ride a high wave that when we get knocked down a couple of pegs, it's almost like 100% defeat right away because we didn't get too long in those really good vibes. And this to me kind of seems like one of those moments where we're going to just be so damn near ready to cry and frustrated because we just didn't have enough time to feel good. We didn't have enough time to ride that wave. And then the moon goes ahead and bumps into Saturn, and Saturn rules over Capricorn. So this is kind of like the weight of the world on my shoulders, the weight of the depression and exhaustion on my chest, the, commitments that I've made. I do not want to show up to. Again, a little bit of the Debbie Downer type of scenario. Now, Saturn, yes, he wants to remind us of our roles and responsibilities and our commitments, especially the ones that, we feel the weight of the world upon our shoulders about. But he's also in Aquarius now, and he's really encouraging us to say, okay, the weight of the world is on your shoulders. What do you want to do about it? Where are you willing to delegate? Where are you willing to lighten the load? Where are you willing to detach yourself from some of these, overwhelming roles and responsibilities and free yourself and liberate yourself by building new routines and foundations for the future? Right? And he doesn't come with any kind of sugarcoating. It's very, smack dab in your face. We don't get a lot of time to be whiners in this particular energy. Everything is happening at a very, very rapid rate. To knock the day out, well, the moon in Capricorn semi-squares Mars, and Mars is kind of finalizing his time, his life lessons, his impact while in his place of power in Scorpio. So Mars rules over our physical energy, our drive, our determination, our passion, our aggression. And he is very passionate. He is very overwhelmed with some very intense urges at this particular point in time. And the moon in Capricorn kind of making this not so nice interaction with Mars could really lead us to kind of throw a tantrum, be frustrated and project that onto somebody that doesn't deserve it, get really down and defeated with how our day kind of, hit a high note and then fell very quickly to the ground. And we have to be mindful that we don't act on impulses because that's going to create drama that there doesn't need to be right now. Right now, we're kind of looking for that freedom, that liberation from, the drama and the chaos and the darkness and all of the stuff that we're leaving behind. We do not need to be creating more. So you're definitely going to be challenged, especially, later on in the day. What I will say is enjoy the highs and equally learn to enjoy the lows. because there's a lesson, a very great, powerful lesson that comes with both. And without one, we definitely would not be able to appreciate the other.